Hello and welcome to Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where we carry on dealing with the consequences of our hoarding. In this case, we've got a Zenith 26 VME that we're going to be building during this episode. And again, it's part of my hoard of carbs that I've accumulated in the summer, probably needlessly. But anyway, it is here, so I might as well. I've already kind of have the parts on order, and I already know what the problem with this carb is, but anyway, more on that later. And so yeah, I'll show you a bit kind of closer what we're working with, and then let's start the disassembly process and try and see if we can get this thing to live again. Okay, so as you can see, it's there through the dirt and grime. It says 26 VME there, and now this unit, one of the things that straight away I can see is, if you can see there is a lot of play in the shaft, so we're gonna have to necessarily put some sort of bushing in there to make this shaft live again, so to speak. This carb, so this carb might run again. In the middle of the video I'd explain exactly what I'm talking about that, but so far, let's say this unit looks to be complete, and therefore let's try and disassemble it and see what sort of parts we are dealing with now. Okay, so as you can see, the fuel bowl is not so bad. You can see the jets kind of right there. They're underneath this kind of covers. As anticipated, the shaft is not looking very great. As you can see, it's a bit of a step there, so it's quite worn out in a sense. You can see it there. Obviously this is very dirty, but that was to be expected. But other than that, I think it's okay. So if we can get this, either a new shaft or might have to do a bronze bushing in there, and we might be able to rescue this unit in that way. So let's now give it a nice little clean and see where how this project moves on from here. Okay, so it's been many weeks since we have taken this unit apart, and it's fair to say that I've done a fair chunk of work. So I'll show you in a minute. But in this segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the different sort of fuel bowls that you can find on different Zenith cars of this era, how they are configured and how the carb, the fuel kind of flows around the carb. Yeah, and before I start, putting it back together and making it good. Okay, so first off, let's start with the work on the shaft. As you can see, it has the bronze insert here. And what I've done is I've done basically what I call the captive O-ring strategy. So basically you probably can't see it in the camera, but right there is an O-ring that is captive between the aluminium and the bronze bushing. So kind of the finished article is going to look something like this. You've got the body of the carb here, your captive O-ring, the bronze bush, and then this final O-ring for additional sealing. So this carb, the idle qualities of this carb is going to be mint. So I've done that. Now I'm ready to start building this unit up. But I want to show you a bit the difference between the fuel bowls that you can find in Zenith carbs. because they're obviously not all the same. So let's start with this one. This, I think it's the oldest kind of model, and as you can see from this side, I probably got better light. So the jets are in there, and basically they communicate through this channel through here, and they go through kind of a metering block, which I'm going to show you, and they've got this kind of air correction circuits that you can see here, and this go on the side of the carb. I'm gonna show you in a minute what it is, but this is probably the kind of the oldest sort of model. As you can see, it's been I've done a fair chunk of cleaning with this unit. It did have a lot of the eats, so a lot of the aluminium has been kind of eaten away. This one is much better. This is like a mid-range one. Again, you see the same thing with the jets that are kind of screwed to the bottom, and they have this little they are raised a bit. The reason why they're raised is so that dirt doesn't necessarily get to them at first. So they have like a safety, some sort of safety valve that you can there can be a bit of dirt here and not get to the jets. Obviously the air correctors are here, and here is like the emulsion, the metering block, if you want to call it. This is where the fuel like actually comes out. So you've got passages like this, and the metering block that comes like so. So you would, in here you would also have a metering block just like this one. Now in this particular one, the 26 VME, which is the one we are working on at the moment, they're slightly different because you can see, let's have a look if you can see the jets there. The jets are there and there, and you can actually see them through there and there. So it is going to have a metering block here, and it is going to have all the kind of correctors over here. It's just that the jets are slightly different on this unit. So let me pre-game the unit. So I wanted to show you like this in its kind of raw form, so you know that it's clean and whatnot. But then let me start showing you a couple of more details as I go along. Okay, so as you can see, I've kind of pre-gamed this and I'm ready now to do like the final assembly. I'll show you some of the bits I was showing you earlier and how they look like done. Okay, so obviously as you can see, the gasket this is the correct gasket for this model. We've got the float here. I mean, you have to put it, obviously where it says top, you have to put it on the top. And I've got the covers for the jets, and over here we've got the throttle plate. As you can see, you may not be able to see here, but it is a little bit tight, but tight is good. I mean, it's gonna need a fairly potent return spring for it to work properly, but I mean, I can still do it with my finger. And I don't know if you notice, but if you see here, the screws that I use are much lower profile than the original ones, and the idea behind this is to try and create a situation where I have less of a restriction and more airflow coming through the unit like that. So I think the improvement will be tiny, but it's still a little bit better. So let me finish doing this, and I'll show you how the carb looks like when it's finished. Okay, so finally we've finished with this unit, Zenith 26 VME, and now I have to say that this is done, ready to be installed. Obviously, as always, very important to have your your little exploded view manual type thing, so you can see where stuff goes. So this is important. So I'll show you a bit closer around the final state of the unit. Okay, so you can see here the accelerator is it's pretty good. And actually it's not as tight as I thought it was going to be, but I know for a fact that, let's say, it would be airtight, but it's still good enough so that it can be actuated, you know, efficiently. Obviously this fitting comes with the car, so that's okay. And then, well, it's just a fuel inlet that's required, but apart from that, this unit is, you know, ready to go. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and join us next week for a bit more Zenith Carb fun. And if you've got any questions, please put it down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode.